Hello, and welcome to a scene for Vampire by Gaslight. Today, Sir Horace has come to meet with the Seneschal, Mr. Padraig McNichol, to see about talking with his new, client. He's been assigned by the Prince to put up some form of a defence for Joseph's actions. Or at least try and argue for a better deal. Who knows? He might be able to convince the people not to kill his client. There's only one way to find out. But first, he wants to have a little chat with his client just to get things on the same page and find out a few things. After a bit of convincing, he's been told that he can have 15 minutes. And only 15 minutes. And so he's been given the address of one of the police stations. Which is open as usual.
Sir Trant will go up and knock, or no, just walk in and ask to be directed to Mr. McNichols.
And your name is?
Sir Trant.
He nods, as if checking that you were the person that was supposed to be coming. George, show this guy down. And one of the other less senior police officers than the desk sergeant comes hurrying over and shows you down a set of stairs to the lockup. Once you've gone past the two largest cells where the drunk tanks are, and then you go past three smaller cells, there is an extra one that actually has proper walls and a proper door rather than bars. It's a bit more private than the other ones. And George will knock on the door and Mr. McNichol will open it. And when you walk in, you will see Joseph liberally chained to a chair that is bolted to the floor. Currently, he still has his stake in, but Mr. McNichol will give you a nod, head over towards where the stake is, glance up to see if you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And when you nod, he says, 15 minutes. I'll be keeping time. And then he pulls the stake out and walks out the room as Joseph is coming around, closing the door behind him.
Joseph comes around slowly. He's got his the finer details of his suit have been removed. He's got the undershirt and the trousers on with the hole in it, obviously. And where the stake's been put through his chest. His hands are chained. You see his hands moving slightly against the brackets of the chains, but they're unable to reach up. And his dark eyes flick towards Sir Trant, and then around at the room.
So, you've been a rather destructive individual lately, and apparently some of the other kindred think that's bad. But I'm going to put up as good a defense as I can. So, please, tell me, why did you kidnap 14 women, including your childer's childer?
His eyes sort of slide over you, and he sort of breathes in, his moustache flickering. Am I on trial for performing experiments on common herd, common women of no subsequence to our society or any others?
I believe the large portion will be because you kidnapped Miss your sire's or your childer's childer, but it said that you breached two people's domains, and you formed a breach of the masquerade.
Angelique, he says with some sort of mockery in his tone, is as worthless as the women that preceded her. She is little more than a common prostitute. The fact that she shares blood is inconsequential.
And yet you were going to give her wings.
She has one trait that the others did not. Above average beauty. But it required perfecting.
Now, let's get to the point, the list of charges. So, you can't deny that you stole Angelique, but you were not going to kill or harm her generally, correct?
He says nothing.
Alright. Maybe you'll be more talkative about the... It has been insinuated that you have come into the asylum and stolen a patient of mine that looked similar to Angelique.
He raises an eyebrow. No. The only time I was in your asylum was when you brought me in there. You can make a perception empathy check if you like.
Okay. Check, I think it's 6. That's 4 successes. So,
It seems to be telling the truth.
and you didn't send any of your creatures in?
No. I have no interest in your specimens.
So, if you did not feel that, well then, you... Alright, the breach of the masquerade. I assume that's pertaining to the thing we put down in the forest. This vampiric monstrosity.
Am I being accused of all the crimes that have happened recently then?
The it seems so. Also, it did seem to share uh, certain abilities with your attempt to give wings to Angelique, and also um, your animals seemed twisted.
I'm not the only person in in the country, let alone in the world, who can create such things.
Do you know anyone in this city who can do such a thing?
No. But I've come across individuals that could in my time.
No.
Do you want to
It'll...
make a perception alertness?
Alright.
No. I will make a...
Manipulation subterfuge.
Yeah.
Defender wins. Defender is the liar, so you know nothing.
It seems difficult to tell.
If you could give an account of when you learned this ability, it might help clear your name, as in you might not have learned it from unsavory elements recently.
There was a time, Sir Trant, that scholars shared their ideas and abilities freely before the establishment of our noble traditions. When I was young, like you are, there was no such division between myself and my scholarly friends.
Could you give a name for this scholarly individual?
I doubt it would be of much consequence.
If I can
Whether
give
or
them
not there
an...
are other individuals of his nature or her nature in the city at the moment is not really what the trial is about, is it?
True, but if it seems you're willing to cooperate, I may be able to get the prince to take your destruction off the table, and I could better explain what has gone on. As to the breach of the masquerade, if you can say where this earth, this vampire in the woods came from, or who it may have come from, that might help your case.
Hmm. Maybe. Maybe that the prince is looking for a convenient scapegoat. Maybe after I am gone, things will still continue. And you'll wonder
True.
why.
Well, I am trying to. So, would you say that you are not a traitor to the Camarilla?
And how have I become a traitor to the Camarilla in the Seneschal's and the prince's estimation?
Well, unfortunately, having the ability to shape flesh as you do has brought you under, uh, shall we say, suspicion.
I'm not the only older kindred with extra abilities. You'll find it in abundance all over Europe. People that have been around a couple of 100 years. Like I said, things were a bit freer back then.
So, you're saying that you learned this ability quite some time ago. Uh, why did you decide to employ it recently? Was there a change or break?
I study, as I always have studied, to improve and strengthen the manner in which we as kindred exist and continue to exist, to improve our eternal selves.
Hmm.
And as an artist, my Angelique will never be an artiste, but she could, with a little tweaking, be a piece of art, if only my misguided progeny would see her in the correct way rather than fawning over her like some lovesick puppy, as he does, as you've noticed.
Well, so it seems you admit that you ha- had intended to change Miss Angelique. Have you ever changed another vampire before?
I have a doctor's confidentiality, do you understand? Perhaps I get a
Then,
request from time to time.
but it was their, it is their, with their permission then.
Yes.
All right. Well then, how do you defend yourself about taking over the sewers, which
Didn't take
have
over the
been,
sewer is quite an exaggeration.
of course, I meant take over that part of the sewers.
I didn't
Uh, the
take over that
Nosferatu,
part of the sewers either. I needed a bigger space to conduct my experiments, and the Nosferatu, despite what they think, do not own the entire sewer system of the known continent. They merely occupy it because it's the only place their craven faces can seem to exist. I was using the space. As soon as I was finished with the space, I would have vacated it.
Mm-hmm.
The space subsequently was underneath one of my labs anyway, so whose
So,
domain truly was it?
There's a
alright,
knock on the
so,
door, and then it opens. Your time's up.
very well. And he'll uh, turn to the doctor and go, well, unless you have any parting words, I'll see you.
He nods.
Uh, and with that, he'll turn around and leave.
And the seneschal will give a disgusted glance to Joseph and slam the door and lock it before heading up the stairs as well.
You didn't restake him.
Nope.
Interesting. And the scene will close there, episode.